Yo, what's good? It's your boy AJ Woodson, editor-in-chief of Black Westchester, AJ Rock from the legendary rap group JVC Force. I'm gonna start doing a series of videos for my new YouTube channel. Make sure you go to my new YouTube channel, Mr. AJ Woodson, MRAJ Woodson, on YouTube, where I'm gonna have a lot of old footage from previous interviews. Got a great interview from the legendary Daddy O from Stetson Sonic and some other interviews. Brief interview with Styles P when he got the key to the city. Just little videos, some excerpts from the People Before Politics radio show, stuff like that. So I'm sitting here, I'm working on my new book, which is titled "We Got Our Own Thing: A Look at Hip Hop from the 914." So anybody watching this, I'm trying to gather all the information and data that I can so I can document the history of hip hop in the 914. And I really am looking for information that's really it's not written nowhere in the early days of hip hop, before hip hop, the legendary rap groups, the legendary graffiti artists, the legendary b-boys and stuff that contributed to the culture before, and you don't know their names. I want to put all of them in the book. So, if you got any information, hit me at Mr. MRAJ Woodson at gmail.com. Definitely hit me, MRAJ Woodson, WOODSON at gmail.com. Just gathering a lot of information now. I'm trying to really document hip hop for the 914 like nobody else has before. You know what I'm saying? So, you're going to have your name artists. You're going to have your DMXs, your Heavy Ds, your Locks, your Pete Rock and CL Smooth. You're going to have Brand New Beings, Master Ceremony, Sporty Thieves, Rough House Survivors, TQ, Danger Mouse, all these people. It's going to have the hip-hop fashion. He had a lot of fashion that came from Westchester. Mike B from Bogart, Groovy Lou, Misha, a lot of people that was doing it on that level. So anyway, the book is called "We Got Our Own Thing," named after a Heavy D song, and it's a look at hip hop from the 914. Hopefully, it'll be out sometime this fall. You know what I'm saying? The celebration of the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And yes, for all my Strong Island heads, I will be following that up with a book titled Strong Island. I don't know if it'll be about the whole region. It'll be about JVC. It'll be about the making of the record or whatever. I didn't really get that far yet, but there will be a book coming following this book called Strong Island. Where I'll be just talking about Long Island rap and my part in it, and the whole thing, and influences and some of the legendary groups that inspired me out there as well. So so I was watching. My sister kept asking me had I seen the 2023 BET Awards, and she was asking me my opinion. She asked me a couple of days, and I really hadn't watched it, so I caught it on demand just the other day, last night or the night before. Shout out to Busta Rhymes getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, and what he said, you know what I'm saying, was powerful. His performance was powerful. His tribute to reggae was powerful. I like how they brought. I see what they tried to do with the old and the new. Kid Capri DJ, Kid Capri holds it down. Shout to the legendary Kid Capri. Someone's trying to call me as I'm making this video. So, shout out to the legendary Kid Capri holding it down as only he could. Shout out to MC Light, who's like the voice of everything on BET behind the scenes. Shout out to her, still doing her thing, getting that bag. Yo, so I like how they tried to do the old and the new. They brought out, Master P, he did his joint, and they brought out Luke, you know what I'm saying? He did his joint, and that Styles P from the 914, he did Get High. They had members. They had Eric Sermon, Keith Murray, and Redman from the Def Squad. You know what I'm saying? They all did their thing. So then they had a lot of the new people. Shout out to Ice Spice. I don't remember all of their names. But one thing that got me, though, and I really never try to come off as the old hip hop cat that's complaining about the young stuff. Like, oh my God, do you hear the music? I'm never that. I understand that, and I was having this conversation with somebody the other day who had me talking to their young daughter, their young, I guess, teen daughter about hip hop. They had me on speakerphone and explaining is how she was saying it's not like what we used to listen to. But I said we have to understand though. Our parents said that about what we was listening to. They didn't think what we was listening to was music. They didn't respect what we was doing. But that was the music that spoke to us, that spoke to the time, that spoke to us. We was the demographic that music was made for. I'm 57, so I'm confident and I'm cool that I am no longer the demographic that these young artists is making music for. But I don't really want to be like how our parents was like, well, that's not music. To the young cats, that's music. Like, they're speaking to their demographic, to their generation, the things that are going on and all that stuff. I mean, I do blame record executives, like Buster said. They only promote certain music. They don't promote enough of the positive music because there's plenty of positive, real positive, good hip hop out there. You got to find it because it doesn't get the promotion. It don't get the video and radio play. You got to find it on the internet. But what I did have to say about BET is the same thing I said when we was in COVID and I started watching all these videos, and it didn't start with COVID. All these videos with all these women taking these shots, showing their ass and twerking in their videos. It's like, yo, you a mother and a grandmother, you twerking in the videos. It was like, yo, the BET Awards was like a lot of twerking, and yo, as a grown man, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's just attractive, and the people like that. But yo, it gives like they didn't show a lot of. It did show a couple of sisters that sang, and they was like doing their thing, and it was cool. But a lot of the chicks was like twerking and you know bending over and having like the dancer dry hump them, and I'm like, yo, at some point, I think I did feel some kind of way, like yo, hip hop used to be, and I hate to be the old dude that says this, but it used to be balanced. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. We had Luke, and Luke came out and did his joint at BT. We had Luther Campbell, Luke Campbell, Uncle Luke, Two Live Crew. We had other crews. We had Too Short talking about that. We had, Snoop and them talking about bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. We had, certain lyrics and stuff. And we had one or two women, Trina was the baddest bitch, she do this and do that and all this other stuff. You had that, but you had a balance. You had Public Enemy giving you, and groups like that, KRS giving you knowledge of self. You wanted to dance, you had like Kid and Play with the kick step and making the music like that, the dance. You had Biz doing the joints that made you laugh. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you had storytellers like Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? You had a variety of music. It wasn't all one thing. It got that way with the gangster music a little bit. Like, it was just one point where everybody wanted to get gangster. Like, everybody was gangster. One of the things I like about Tupac, and I say about Tupac, like, I don't consider him on the top 10 or 20 MCs. Clearly, I'm saying MCs. But he was one of the biggest rap personas, and he was probably one of the last of the 3D. Like, he was 3D. He wasn't all one way. If you take the hardest dude and his his mother or his daughter or his wife or something that's dying, you'll see that gangster cry. You take a punk and you put him in the right situation, he could be a killer. Like, we all have all of these things. Nobody's all hard or all conscious or all, we got all of this in us. Tupac was like that rapper who could, you know, go at Biggie and be like, yo, yeah, that's why I fucked your wife, whatever. But do joints like Dear Mama and Brenda's Got a Baby and Keep Your Head Up. like he showed all sides of, you know, what we go through, and we lost that when everybody was like all gangster. There's nobody that's all gangster all day. It just, even the thugs is like, they got family time, and certain times they not like, they just regular. Like I so now I'm seeing with the BET Awards, while I did see the variety and what they tried to do with the old and the new, there was a large segment of that show which was just about twerking. It was like, and some of the artists, like I said, I like Ice Spice and Koi. I can't remember the other part of her name. And there was a couple of artists I like. Um, I like the chick that I don't know her name. Girls Are Players Too. Love that joint. Um, but even with her, she was one of the few new artists when she performed Girls Are Players Too. She danced and everything, but I could understand all of the lyrics. It was some of the artists was performing. I don't know what the hell they was saying. Like, you almost got to pull up the lyrics and like let it flow while they talking, so you know what the hell they saying. I know. Like I said, I'm 57 and I understand. This music is not made for me, but I do understand. The contributions I had and many other people had in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And it don't have to be all that. And the record producers, like Buster said, that ain't all they gotta promote. Cause there are some sisters out there doing the damn thing that don't get the promotion for being positive. They don't feel like they need to show their ass to sell records and stuff. You don't see those sisters. That's why I like the singer Her. Yo, very talented, plays multiple instruments, but you don't see her twerking in the video. You don't see her breasts hanging out. She's always fully clothed. She's a very attractive young lady, but she doesn't use her sexuality to sell records. Her talent speaks for herself, and she's very talented. You know, I think we need to get to these executives need to be. I understand sex sells. Yo, let's keep it real. Sex sells. Um, it's easier to promote records with the ass shaking and the twerking and, you know, chicks talking about they took their plan B so they ain't gonna have no kids in me or whatever that record talks about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I understand, that's part of the culture now, if you want to call it that, but we're getting away from what hip hop was. And hip hop was always, there was a balance in it. We had gangster rap. We had cats talking all kinds of shit and crime, groups living out their gangster fantasies, whether it was real or not. We had the sex records. We had the disrespectful records. We even had beefs. Like, people want to talk about back in the days, we ain't had no beefs. There was beefs in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It just, we ain't have social media back then. But groups was beefing, even if it was playful on record, or a couple of times it really got down to some. Zulu Nation had to come in and squash a couple of those because it was going to a different level. KRS had to put self destruction out. You know what I'm saying? For putting an end to what they call black on black crime. But a lot of that wasn't just in our neighborhoods; it was in our music. It was in our music too. So let's not front like we didn't have that stuff back then. We had all of that. We had that, but we had a balance. I'm not seeing enough of the Kendrick Lamars and the J. Coles. I'm not seeing enough of those. There's other artists like them out there that's speaking knowledge, that's dropping knowledge, that's giving positive records and giving different things. You know, we had De La. De La changed the game, showed you ain't had to be dressed like a gangster to be hip hop. You ain't had to have gold chains on and all that. They changed the whole way. I interviewed Lord Jamal recently from Brand Nubians for the book, for a look at hip hop for the 914, this new book. And he said it was De La and them that showed him that, he used to rock, he was street. He had the gold chains, he had all that, he was doing all that. But when they did Brand Nubians, it was De La that showed them that, at least he said him, they ain't had to dress like that to be hip hop. You know, it showed like they we had different lanes and everybody picked a lane and you could hear when you heard Kane, you knew it was Kane. When you heard KRS, you knew it was KRS. When you heard Slick Rick, you knew it was Slick Rick. When you heard Latifah or Salt and Pepper or Light, you knew it was them. When you heard Roxanne Shante, you knew it was her. Like, you didn't mix that up. I remember I was living in Atlanta for a while, and I came home one summer to New York, and I heard, I'm turning on either Hot 97 or Power 105, whatever was popping at that night. I heard this joint, and I'm like, oh shit, this that new Locks joint. Oh, this ain't the Locks. Yo, the next 5 records I heard, they all sound like the Locks. The Locks, they didn't even play a Locks record. I heard 5 groups that sound like the Locks. I thought the Locks had a new record out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we got away from the originality and the artistic points, the artistic part of hip hop and what made hip hop great. And again, I'm not mad at nobody for getting a bag. I'm not mad at nobody for getting their paper. And a lot of artists, they started out one way and they ended up, gradually you can see growth in their music and stuff. And maybe I need to give some of these artists a chance because who knows, what they will do with their stardom and their celebrity and what they will do for their community. You know what I'm saying? But I was just saying I was a little disappointed in the overall BET Awards. I just was a little disappointed. You know what I'm saying? BET, while it went from being black owned from Robert Johnson to Viacom, and I think now I forgot who supposedly just brought it. Tyler Perry or somebody I think is trying to buy it or something. Yo, BET used to have stuff like Youth Summit. What was it called? Was it Youth Summit or something like that? It was this dope show, where it was like, yo, it had music, it had artists coming, but it was for the youth and it was inspiring for youth. And there was a lot of shows, a lot of things going on. I missed those days of BET. I missed the days where there was more variety in our music. And we could get back there. And I just finally watched Chuck D, the PBS special, I think, hip hop saving the world or whatever it was called. Yo, Chuck always mentioned that he mentioned throughout the 4 parts, every time something was going on in our community, political, whether it's the crack era or whatever, hip hop always had an answer. What we going through now, I'm looking to hip hop now. Where's the answer? You know what I'm saying? Like, the things going on with the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? Taking away all our rights and stuff. Where's the hip hop answer? Where we can't keep looking for Chuck D to continue to do it. I mean, and he probably will if he puts something out. We can't look to KRS and them to keep doing it. Where's the young cats? Where's the answer from hip hop to address the issues that we're dealing with? Where are the answers? Hip hop has always had an answer to what was going on in our communities, to what was going on in our culture and what was going on in our cities, whether it was, Melly Mel and The Message, was like, some of the stories Slick Rick told in his rhymes, even Scarface, I liked about Scarface, he had that music, but he never glorified that life. He always made it almost a cautionary tale, like, this is what happens at the end. Like, living that life, you know what I'm saying? You don't grow old, you end up dead or in jail. You know what I'm saying? And he wove that into the stories of gangsterism in his music. And we're missing more of that. And we're missing the artists that are doing that. And let's keep it real. If you are an artist right now, everybody's trying to get the bag. And that's what the labels is promoting. You know what I'm saying? And you got pressure from the labels telling you they want more of that. And if you do a positive joint and it's not getting pushed, who wants to do the positive joint and the elevating joint and the consciously relevant joint that don't get on the radio, that don't get the promotion? You know what I'm saying? You don't get the magazine interviews about it. You know what I'm saying? But you make these joints about No Kids in Me or whatever that joint is, taking the Plan B and all that stuff and all the stuff that they talking about, and that's being pushed. The videos are showing everywhere. The music is getting played everywhere. That's what the labels is pushing. You know, so artists is in this to make that bag. Nobody wants to be the broke artist no more. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to just be, famous and ain't got no paper. You know what I'm saying? People is chasing the bag, and I can't get mad at them for that. But I'm just asking. I don't know how we get there. I might just be rambling now. You know what I'm saying? And I want to hear what you all have to say in the comment section below. I want you to drop your comments. It's okay if you don't disagree with me. You just think I'm the old rapper that just is complaining about the new stuff. It's okay. I'm not that. But if that's how you feel, share that in the comments. You think I'm full of shit? Share that in the comments. You agree with me and you want to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? You're tired of, what they're showing, like Buster said in his speech. We ain't all gotta be talking about how much drugs we selling or how much drugs we doing or how much and the video and the executives ain't gotta only push the joints with the ass shaking and the twerking. You understand what I'm saying? We more than that. We more than that, and I know a lot of people don't look at themselves as role models, but as a celebrity, as you make a certain impact, you do have a certain responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to speak out against the government and crime. I mean, against systematic racism. I mean, I don't want everybody just talking about that, especially if you don't feel it. But you know, there's something you could do more than what you're doing, and I hope to see the growth in some of these artists as they get more fame and they get more money and they get more business opportunities. You know, you don't want to really sell your soul for the fame, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, and I hope some of our young artists and aspiring artists are listening. Them labels don't care about you. When you're no longer useful to them and they don't feel like they can make money off of you, they get 100 other kids that they can to make the money off of. Some of the publications really don't care about you. Once you stop giving them things that they got headlines and they got clickbait about, and they got everybody running to their site and wanting to advertise, they're gonna start writing about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, if this is what you're doing for your money, I hope that you take this money and do something and realize, yo, this money don't last forever. And I hope you got somebody showing you how to take that money and do something with it for your family or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to just get some of this off my chest again. Kind of a rant. You might say I'm rambling, but it's a couple of things on my mind as I'm working on my book, as I said, and I started just to try to promote, talk about what I'm doing with the book. Again, I'm doing a book documenting the history of hip hop from the 914, the Westchester County area, that consists of the three meccas of music, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, and New Rochelle. But there's other parts of Westchester that music comes from, but those are the three main areas. And some of the contributions that hip hop has made, 914 has made to the overall hip hop. But you know, again, ain't nothing wrong with the gangster lyrics. Ain't nothing wrong with the street and the reality lyrics. Ain't nothing wrong with a little sexuality in your joints. You know what I'm saying? But understand that you can be more than that, and you can blend in. Once you get their ear, you throw in some content about an issue that you want to talk about, whatever that issue is. Like, use your celebrity to do something, and get with somebody like my man Rashad. Shout out to my man Rashad and Earn Your Leisure. Get with people like that can show you what to do with your money, so that you ain't just out here selling your soul and then you broke later. You know what I'm saying? Because they used you up and they don't need you no more. You might be in today. Let me tell you also, the media will build you up and build you up to tear you down. Look at what they've done to a lot of people that came before you. Yeah, I know you say that's not you and it can happen to you, but yes, it can. They don't really care about you like that. You being on the cover of their publication gives people to buy that publication, gives people to advertise. You being on their websites get them clickbait. You know what I'm saying? Make people click on their site, because you keep doing stuff that they could talk about, and they going to just talk about that so people just keep hitting their site. They don't really care about you. You have to understand that. So what do you stand for? What do you want to be remembered for? You know what I'm saying? Just do something a little different. And BT, I expected a little bit more. I do appreciate bringing out. You had Kane out there. Who else did you have? You brought Melly Mel and them out to do their joint. You know what I'm saying? And it did show some of the legends involved. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you got to have a balance. You really, really, really do. But I think at one point, it got too much it wasn't about the lyrics. It wasn't about the culture. It wasn't about, you know what I'm saying, like good music. It was just like ass shaking and twerking. It was like a third of the show. And while that is part of if you want to say culture right now, the industry right now, you know, I want to see BET go back to what it used to be and represent. We don't have a lot of places for our music to be played on that level, and you can do more. So I'm challenging the executives, piggybacking off Busta Rhymes, and challenging the executives to promote something more than that. You know what I'm saying? Put some money in some of these artists that's got good music and they saying something. Some of these talented brothers and sisters playing instruments and putting out good music. I want to get back to some good music. There got to be a balance. There got to be a balance. There's always going to be the other side. You know what I mean? Like it or not. I mean, I was rocking with Luke and Two Live Crew and all the stuff that came out back then. Man, I was going to all of the joints. You know what I'm saying? Freaknik and Virginia Beach and all those joints, and Miami and all them joints. But there's also a point where there's more than that. It was a balance. And we don't have the balance now. So shout to everybody who's doing it. Shout to everybody who's getting that bag. Shout to everybody who is utilizing this as a stepping stone to build business and do stuff for their community. Shout to the lyricists out there that's really not getting it. The lyricists like Talib Kweli, and I love what he's doing with his show, with his podcast or whatever. I love what he's doing, bringing out the real interviews and coming from that. And lyrically, he's still a beast, and he's still putting out music. You know what I'm saying? Like, those people that's putting out music, let's make sure we support our artists, our talented artists that are putting all of that are giving us good music. So, that's all I have to say. Look out for my new book. We got our own thing, a look at hip hop from the 914, which will be followed by a book called Strong Island that will either be on the region or something to do with Long Island and the record we put out. And anybody that got any information on the early days of hip hop in Westchester County before there was records. I know there was a crew in White Plains that used to, we had the Collins brothers, the legendary Collins brothers in Mount Vernon. There was many more sound systems and groups like that that was really doing it in the 70s and the early 80s, and it was before hip hop, and they were doing the block parties, and they were hip hop before hip hop became this big thing. I want to celebrate them. So anybody who has any information on that, holla at your boy. If you don't have my number or whatever, just email me, MRAJ Woodson, WOODSON, MRAJWOODSON at Gmail. Everybody subscribe to the video. If you like what I'm saying, share it. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment below it. If you want to see me talk about more things like this that's going on, like, I mean, I set up the channel. I'm going to be talking about hip hop. I'm going to be talking about criminal justice. I'm going to be talking about systemic racism. I'm going to be talking about all of that. And I'm just going to be dropping these videos, you know what I'm saying, like maybe 30 minutes or so. Some are going to be quick joints, 5-10 minutes, just dropping something. But if you like what you see, let me know. If you want to see something else, you want to hear me discuss a particular topic, let me know in the comment section. Shout out to my dude, Damon K. Jones, my partner in Black Westchester, who actually pushed me and encouraged me that I need to be doing more of these and using my voice as a hip-hop historian, as, you know, someone who's been in the game, you know, for like 35 years on one level or another. You know, I went from being an artist to writing for The Source and Vibe and Village Voice and all of them joints. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to On The Go magazine and all of them. So I'm just going to be dropping. Everybody's not going to feel what I got to say. I mean, it's the same thing with Black Westchester, but, you know, I'm just going to be unapologetic, and I'm just going to be me. And I just want to hear from you, the people, those who follow me, those who just coming across me for the first time. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the drop a comment. This is part of a new series I got called Relax and Take Notes. And that's what this is. I'm your boy AJ Woodson, AJ Rock, Strong Island, representing 914. I'm gonna do a whole thing about that. That's gonna be one of my next videos. Yeah, I'm born in Mount Vernon. I lived in Long Island, and I was lucky to be connected to a lot of great artists on both sides. So they both have a lot to do with the makeup of who I am. So shout out to Central Islip, Long Island. Shout out to Mount Vernon. Until next time, peace. Relax and take notes. AJ Rock. Black Westchester. Follow us at Black Westchester. Check out what we're doing. BlackWestchester.com. Look out for the new book. My other two books are on Amazon. The Black Westchester, The Origin Story, and Black Westchester Celebrates Black Women of Westchester. I highlight the achievement of African American women in Westchester. Both available on Amazon, or DM me and I can show you. I'll tell you how you could hit me directly and buy the book directly from me and get you an autographed copy. Till next time, peace. I'm out.